Hello, everybody. Welcome to MBT Footy Talks. This is the MBT Show, our weekly show, where we do match previews and reviews for this past weekend. I'm joined by none other than Mel B or Malcolm, my co-host.
What it do? What it do? Salute.
Salute,
Salute!
salute, salute. Yeah,
Aruga!
Aruga. Before
Hey,
we
bro.
proceed with the show, please like, comment, subscribe to our upcoming channel. We really appreciate it.
Yes, yes,
Before,
yes. Know what to do?
yeah, before we get on the show on the road, I understand we may have another guest. Um, but for now, we can start with the show. What do you want to talk about first? Because this is probably our second attempt at doing this now. Because the first attempt, things happen, and then you have to start all over again. So let's just start with the first topic. Should we start with the weekend, or should we just talk about the last game
Let,
that was played?
yeah, let's work our way from Arsenal backwards,
Oh, we're going
reversing in
back.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So Arsenal played against Crystal Palace and beat them 1-0 this past weekend. What did you think of the performance?
Um, Arsenal started the game as they usually start games. They were dominating the first 20, 30 minutes, actually 40 minutes. They were dominating for long. Palace were very good on the counter, but they were lacking threat. Second half, early second half, quick free kick, Eddie Nketiah, keeper catches him, Palace switch off, Odegaard, clean penalty, fair to him.
Mm,
And then after the red card, it was all Palace because obviously Arsenal were protecting that 1-0 lead. And I think Arsenal deserved the win. I think Palace couldn't penetrate the defense, whether it was 11, whether it was 10. I think Arsenal did what they needed to do. They got the points and they needed to get the heck out of there. Because let's say they played another 10 minutes on top of that, maybe Palace would have got something, but it looked
yeah.
unlikely because Arsenal really parked the bus and they made good changes and they deserved the 3 points.
No, for sure. I couldn't agree with you more. And as I'm just going through the fixtures now, I couldn't agree with you more. There was a very dominant performance in terms of possession. I don't think Palace did give Arsenal much of a threat. They were too respectful to a point. They sat back. Um, I
Mm,
think even much, I think even much deeper than Forest, because Forest they were like looking for the genuine opportunity, but with Palace they just sat really deep. They sat really deep, um,
mm.
and at times I felt we couldn't like break them down almost immediately. So it was kind of tricky for us to make the most of our opportunities because they were very defensively solid. And to be honest, I felt like I felt like if it went for the red card, the game would have gone accordingly. So, yeah,
See, a third appearance is coming here now. I'm in the
yeah,
middle,
yeah.
Malcolm.
So let me just swap everyone around. Hey
Yeah.
yo,
Oh, yeah.
Yo, What's good?
What's good, Pacheco?
Good. Yeah.
All good, all good.
Where, Danko? How
What's
you
good in
doing,
the
man?
hood, bro?
What's good in the hood, man?
Everything's lovely in the hood.
Lali,
Yeah.
what you drinking there, my friend?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Ah, ah, really? Really?
It's a Coca-Cola beverage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Now that you
Welcome, bro.
joined, yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm sure everyone remembers Daniel from the last show when we were talking about Chelsea. We'll get to Chelsea at some point, but we were just talking about Arsenal just now, Daniel. I'm sure you must have checked what happened with their game on Monday. What did you think of their performance, to be honest?
Well, I didn't really watch most of it because obviously load shedding still a big problem here in South Africa. But judging from the low parts that I saw, there's been some improvement in terms of Arteta and his defensive pace. Last year Arsenal's been known to just concede maybe at the last moment, or even just pretty much just like in terms of goals on games where you would have thought that they would have secured, points. Uh, Seemed like it was an intense game. A lot of Arsenal supporters were on their feet, thinking that maybe Crystal Palace might steal this one away, or find a way to equalize and then turn the game around. But so far, for me, it just seems like it was a great game. What I'm mostly impressed by is just Arsenal's shape in terms of defense. Saliba is also now gaining some traction in terms of the wider audience of people who are supporting the Premier League or watching the Premier League. So it's pretty much a great thing to see. So yeah, I don't really have that much criticism. I mean, still the first 2 games of the Premier League. A lot of teams are not really blending as well or gelling as well. So the most important thing is just to secure these 3 points. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Yeah, and
Fair
like,
enough.
fair enough, fair enough. I couldn't agree with you more. It's just, Arsenal fans are crazy people, so they just lose their minds over stupid things. Um, and there were like one criticism was like, well, why are we not thrashing Palace? And I'm thinking to myself, Palace at Sellers Park is probably one of the most difficult matches to go. Like Sellers Park is one of the most difficult places to go to in England. And I think there was a stat before the game. Arsenal have not won a Monday match in like a couple of years. And also, since Roy came back, he hasn't lost a game until Monday. So, a home game, mind you. So, I don't know why people are losing their minds. I thought the performance was okay. I thought the plays were decent. The only issue I had was that red card, y'all. And I kid you not, Nam. We'll get onto the red cards this weekend as we go along with the games. But that was probably the worst red card I've ever seen in EPL so far. That has to be the worst. It was the lightest tackle I've ever like. It's not a red card. Then Ayu, who's already on a yellow, does something even worse on Saka and doesn't get booked. Like, make it make sense, yo. I don't I don't understand. So it was very irritating. I felt like Palace only started coming out of themselves when we were down to 10 men, but that defensive performance from Arsenal, aside, I've not seen since, remember when Arteta first came through and started playing three at the back. That was the last time I saw that, but it's even more solid now. It's quite impressive. Um, I liked the performances from Declan Rice. Um, Partey at that right back role is fantastic. And like Saliba also, as you said, I wouldn't go as far as to say, oh, he's world class or whatever. I think he's just fantastic, and I think this is this season probably will judge him this season to see whether or not he's of that higher level, so to say. So I think it was a very poor game for Martinelli and Saka. Nketiah should have scored yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. Havertz, not gonna lie, the past two games, I think this was actually a better performance from him actually compared to the previous game. He's not doing amazingly, but he's okay. Again, I am surrounded by a fan base that is over the top on either spectrums. He's amazing. He's shit. So I think he's been okay for us so far. Um, but that thing about his price tag being 65, I'm just like, well, you know, it's gonna take time to see. I can see what Arteta's trying to do with him. Instead of playing him up front, outright, he's like in this weird space of a midfield where he can sometimes go wide, and sometimes I like it when he goes like when we're in the box and he goes like right at the far post of the left side where Xhaka used to put himself there, and he just sticks himself there, waiting for someone to give him um, a ball to his head or to his foot. I think his movement is very underrated actually, and it's underappreciated. I understand like not many people liked him at Chelsea, but he wasn't a striker, and the fact that at Chelsea they forced him to become a striker, it really irritated me. But no, I thought it was a good performance from us this weekend, and um, the only thing I'm worried about is very soon we're gonna play United. We'll get onto them also as the show goes on. But the next fixture I actually want to go to, since we're going backwards, yikes, uh, is Chelsea.
Mm.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'll let you speak. What did you think of the performance this weekend?
Uh, I saw a bunch of supporters pretty much just trying to compare that game with the game that we had as an opener against Liverpool. And I don't know, I think we only started getting our rhythm with Liverpool once they scored, and then we started trying to find our feet back into the game, making some good passes, people spacing well. A lot of just like creative ideas just flowing on the pitch. And I guess also, yeah, I get why people would try to compare that game with the West Ham game because we were down. West Ham scored a goal at around like 7 minutes into the game. And only then, after that, Chelsea started showing that, okay, we actually want to play. And then we equalize. Chukwemeka gets injured.
Daniel,
Uh,
Daniel, Daniel.
yes,
We're
hear me.
losing you, buddy. Yeah, we're losing you.
So is it still
Just go
shaking?
in and out again.
What's happening here, bruh? Can you hear me perfectly now?
Hmm.
Hold on, bro. T-Man is gone, my guy.
And then obviously
Mm.
Chukwemeka got injured. After Chukwemeka got injured,
Sorry, guys,
what
I'm back.
else happened? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Chikowenko. What's his
as I
name?
was trying to take it, Chukwemeka.
Chukowenko, bruh.
Bro,
Chukwemeka.
what are you saying, man? Yeah,
That name, though. Where does that
you can
guy
just
come
call him
from?
Carney now. You can just call him Carney.
Chukwemeka
Yeah, no, I think he
scored,
has
bro.
Nigerian.
So you guys just
Definitely.
signed it. So you guys signed another midfielder. I saw the guy with the U. Yes, sis, that guy
What's that?
from with the U with the really long. I think you bought him from. I forgot the French team you guys bought him from.
Chukwemeka.
No, the other guy you bought. I think he's like young midfielder, but you sent him to Strasbourg. I don't know. That guy's name is so long. It's so long. Yeah,
Oh,
that guy's name. I
wasn't that
can't.
guy like a right back or whatnot?
He's a midfielder.
Midfielder. Did he feature at the Liverpool game?
No, no, he didn't play. They bought him and then they sent him straight on loan to I
Mm.
think to Strasbourg. I don't know, but I saw some of your players' names, mate. Yes, yes. Can't pronounce
Yeah,
them.
nah. We're a team full of culture and
Yeah,
different
too much
backgrounds, you know.
culture. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. You were saying. I'm sorry. You were saying about Chelsea.
Yeah, so
Chukwuemeka.
I was saying, yeah, Chukwuemeka got injured just when he was also picking up form because first game we didn't really see much of him. I consider him more so an attacking eight, not really a 10, but that's where he's been operating the past two games. And he finally got his rhythm because I see similarities in his game with Loftus, who just left us to Milan. More or less like a similar type of player, really good in dribbling and knows how to carry the ball, and you can't easily just take the ball from him as an opponent. So yeah, as soon as he got injured, I think before then we also had a penalty that got saved by Enzo, and a lot of our supporters were also just attacking Enzo because apparently Enzo can't do no wrong. He's just been performing ever since he came to Chelsea. If anything, he's been carrying the whole team, and once there's like a drop in terms of performance or just a miss in the penalty spot, all of a sudden now he's a bad player. He can't play, you know. But yeah, those like just good spots in that first half, and I thought that just because we equalized, there might be a chance for us to get back into the game second half, and then I don't know. I think a defensive blunder can't really put it all on Sanchez. I mean, he's also still trying to find his feet, but I'd like to think some of the people we have in our backline, especially Cole, we have Silva. These are people who are experienced in the Premier League at least. I can't say much about Disasi because he was also shaky in the first game, but him scoring pretty much just erased that for everyone against Liverpool. So yeah, it was not the best of second halves. Overall, I just didn't really like our performance. I think I talked to Taiwan off air via WhatsApp, and I was like, I don't know. It's a bit reminiscent of where we've been stuck ever since before Tuchel left, even through the Potter reign, even through Salto's low stint to Lampard's stint also when he came back. It's a bit messy on our end, and there's a lot of confusion in terms of the fan base regarding what it is that uh, we are playing in terms of formation. You hear all this talk. I'm not really a big fan of. I guess maybe I have a problem in terms of adapting to change, but I'm not really a big fan of this whole talk of, oh yeah, so when we without the ball, we are back four. But when we with the ball, we are back three, or vice versa. I think some of these coaches are getting too crazy with these formations, and I myself would like to go back to just basics. This whole thing of now, when players without the ball, the shape is looking like a three. We get into a point where even coaches can't really tell us what it is that we are playing. It's just a thing of phases in terms of the midfield to the back line, and also obviously in the 18. So yeah, a lot of what's happening in terms of change in football has got me a bit on the iffy side. But yeah, not as impressed with Chelsea's play. I saw a bunch of games preseason through the Premier League that they won in the States, and what had looked like a 4-2-3-1 to me is not what we're playing today in terms of what we're playing preseason. So yeah, I would just like to see that, but it's gonna take time. So I'm gonna give Poch time, and you guys know also I've been a big supporter of anti-spend at Chelsea, so I can only hope that we stop the count because we're still signing, and that's not a solution. It's not going to help much. Of course, we do need a number 10, but I think it should stop there. A number 10 and a goalkeeper. It should stop there. Someone should just stop really. He's looking like someone that might need counseling. You know, I want to picture me being
Mm.
like that after I've just won a couple of millions. Spending like there's no tomorrow. But yeah, that's just my whole take on the whole Chelsea thing.
Dude, like you know what you know what's crazy about Chelsea, and like I was even telling Daniel off end, is that considering I've been talking to Daniel about Chelsea since last season, and considering since Todd Bowley's been here, they've spent nearly a billion in less than 3 windows. So this is an absolute turnover in terms of squad, in terms of personnel, in terms of everything, basically, even up at the top. So I'm not surprised that there's a lack of you know cohesion at the moment, but at the same time, when you look at the players you've signed, it's quite promising. Banter aside, I think this team could be very dangerous in maybe the next few years. However, what my only concern about Chelsea is the sell, the resell value if some of these players don't work out. Because I understand you've bought the likes of Enzo, Caicedo, and Lavia, your midfield. Like that's over 250 million on the midfield alone. Your defenders, okay, barring Cole, you've basically been spending on on the same on a number of defenders, not just, and some have left already, like Koulibaly left. You bought Disasi. I think he's a decent player. Um, and now, I think the other thing is that there's a there's this transitional phase that you have to go through now in terms of starting all over again. In terms of the tactic, I thought you guys were set up pretty good against West Ham, but unfortunately, West Ham got the better of you guys. I think that's just down
Hmm.
to experience. I think they have more experience than you guys compared to that team. I think first half you guys played really well, and basically you guys were supposed to just get yourselves into the game the moment you equalized. But the only players I saw were the experienced players, which were Cahill, Sterling. I know Enzo didn't have a bad game, but I hope it's not one of those where we misunderstand Enzo as a player again. Again, like you guys have very good players in your team. What I would not want for Chelsea, as a rival speaking and also talking from experience, is for you guys to not use your players accordingly. I mean, look at United, for example. Sorry to throw United under the bus here, but United have been having difficulties with their squad for some years now, and given that it's quite problematic even for Arsenal for some years that we try to get players to fill in positions but not think about the long term. You guys have now literally thought about the long term. It's just a matter of whether or not it will come together or not. Me personally, I think it'll take a long time. It won't be this season, um, not even next season. I think the season after we will see Chelsea being in and about a potential top four slash title race in 2 seasons from now. Once everything is settled, once you've allowed Poch to settle with his tactics. I don't think he's tactically inept in any shape. I think he's brilliant. The likes of him, Pep, um, Arteta, they come from the same school. They come from the same school of thought in terms of football. So I'll give it time. I saw there was something there, but what I also saw was there's a lack of cohesion from Chelsea. Um, But yeah, let's just see what happens. You guys have a decent run, but just try get as much points as possible because there'll be a point where there'll be a time where the trying to get points will be. I looked at that October, end of October, going to December. That's probably your hardest run, and I wonder like if you guys are going to be somewhat together because you have like 5 games to figure yourselves out from now until that point, because that is a very difficult run. You play basically most of the top 6 teams and Newcastle in that period. So yeah, I just hope I hope it works out at least for Podge. He needs that redemption in the Premier League. So but I don't think you guys played badly. I think West Ham were very fortunate, and we should give credit that um, we know what process a specialist at set pieces, and I feel like that naivety you can see in the defense as well is there quite prominently. So it'll take time, and you have to be patient with what's going on at Chelsea. But I didn't think they played bad. I think they actually played better than the Liverpool game. I think even the Liverpool game, they were quite all over the place and they weren't like cohesive. I think game by game they'll get better. But even though it was a loss, I think it wasn't as bad as people are making it out to be. But yeah, let's just see what happens. What do you think, Malcolm?
Yeah, Chelsea. They'll get better, bro. They will get better for sure.
But no, let's just see what happens because I'm genuinely curious this season with Chelsea. But we'll just get past the Villa game. That was just a 4-0 thumping to Everton. I think Everton are a candidate for relegation this season. Emery
Again.
again, and Emery turned up on the day. Also, City beat Newcastle. I don't think it was their best performance, but at the same time, um, they were able to grind out a result. So yeah, it's just one of those performances. I think Newcastle didn't. Okay, we're back here.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Network is fighting us today. We're just talking about City and Newcastle. And business as usual, but Newcastle gave them again. Let's have it right. I feel
For
like a
sure.
lot of
City wasn't.
Mm.
They weren't as good as they usually are. Can see they're missing the
um,
Bruyne. Really, but
and
Foden turned up, bro. He really he surprised me. He was like running around and doing his thing. And
mm,
Haaland doesn't even need to score for City to win. So like anybody can pop up. It will be a Kovacic, it will be a Alvarez or a Bernardo or even a Palmer nowadays. Palmer's coming
mm,
into the first team.
yeah, he's coming good
So it
slowly.
was a good win for City. They were just showing that they can win without playing really well like they usually
Mm,
do.
mm.
But
Um,
Newcastle, we must give them their flowers. They never got thrashed, bro.
no, Newcastle are going to be a problem this year. Y'all. This year, they're going to be a very big problem. Big, 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 big problem. Um,
I have to jump to United.
yeah, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Yeah, I've got some
but yeah.
questions to answer.
But Daniel, do you what like before we get to that? Daniel, what did you think of United actually? Because yo, I don't know what happened. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened to be honest.
No. No, it's been confusing just watching. I found the Newcastle and City game very entertaining. It just goes to show like how far we've come in terms of competition or just things just being competitive in that nature in the Prem, and that goes without saying why we all consider the Prem the best league in the world for football. But now, when it came to the United game, I was just seeing the same patterns I was seeing in the first game against Wolves because I was left just really confused. I think for an entire game, I never even saw Bruno even shoot once. I'm not so sure. No, I'm not the only person. I think I speak for everyone in trying to figure out what's Mason's role playing all the way deep in that midfield. Because I think where Mason also prospers is when you at least have him as a 10 or at least somewhere there by the flanks, whether right or left, he can come up with something. And then on top of that, I think you guys know that famous clip that was on Sky Sports Retro where like a bunch of these pundits were talking to Mourinho and asking him about Rashford's potential and what exactly can he offer on the pitch or where exactly does he fit in that whole puzzle in terms of being a forward or whether he's playing on the flanks in United. And he told them straight up that he doesn't believe he possesses any skill in terms of being a number 9 or a target man. But put him on the left flank, you get the best out of him. So yeah, it was, I think, to some degree could be a tactical fail on Ten Hag's end, because also just like how
100%.
I think earlier on about Chelsea, the United we saw preseason and the United we see now in terms of like formation, where people were playing, because at some point I think Sancho was also playing at 9 or like a false 9 role preseason, and it looked sort of good. So a lot of people were raising eyebrows. Okay, you were testing out all these things preseason. Sancho's fit, but you're benching him. He's not starting these games. There's still other players he's trying to get rid of, but they're still featuring in games. And I guess that's the same dilemma that we also having at Chelsea with Gallagher. We've seen reports of Chelsea's trying to get rid of him, but he's still playing. Wan-Bissaka, they're trying to get rid of him. He's still featuring in the games. I think he's a solid player in the back, at least, Obviously, he could offer more going forward, but he's a solid traditional right back. Yeah, so overall, just a lot of confusion. I was even left surprised by Spurs because even Spurs had a shitty game, first game. At some point, I thought maybe Harry Song. What's his name? Human Song, right? Yeah, Human Song.
Human Song.
Yeah. Wearing the captain's armband, it almost felt like we looking at Superman pretty much being overpowered by a kryptonite, because I didn't see much from him, no dribbles, but he surprised me second game around. I don't know, maybe he wants to just show up at the top games, but what a performance from him, So yeah, I don't know. I think we should just give some of these teams a couple of games for things to turn up, but it's very concerning, especially looking at United, because I think you guys have Champions League football this season. You do, né? Yeah. So now, if the performances are looking like that, what can we say? Because like at least my excuse is that these guys don't really have an excuse as a Chelsea supporter to try and make things work. If they have to put in extra shifts in terms of training and whatnot to make it work, they do, because they don't have a busy calendar or a hectic schedule ahead. But yeah, a lot of
besides the fact that Chelsea are like literally doing a whole turnover, Ten Hag is in year 2 now, and the fact that his team is still not what he wants it to be. I feel like they're not playing the way I expected him to be playing with United. I feel like quite frankly been very poor. Not the Mount transfer particularly, but the other transfers over the years, and I feel like with Mount it's a wait and see, to be honest. But
so
for the rest of them,
sorry to cut you off, but I just wanted to ask: can we say a lot of United's failure, even now, the current problems that they're still facing, is it still something that we can attribute towards the Glazers or the transfer policy? What's the problem? Because maybe recruitment is a problem. Maybe Ten Hag's not getting the ideal players that he would like to, sign, or
Yeah.
maybe once the clear out is done in terms of like getting rid of all these other players that he feels like are not working for him, then maybe he might have a clear idea. But it's United. It's a big club. You might need to spend 500 million, just like Chelsea, for us to get United to where it is. And the transfer market is not like how it used to be. 100 million pounds almost seems like it's standard now for a quality player. It's no longer a thing of this is a record breaking transfer, because now if you're talking record breaking transfers, we're talking about players worth over how much? 200 M, 250. And even if you're spending that much money on just one single player, are they going to deliver? It's tough.
Yeah. I, bro, my team, nah,
Mm.
it's unacceptable what I'm seeing, bro, from the performance point of view. I know that we are much better than what we're showing, especially last season, bro. We came right at the point. We always like we started badly last season, and everybody thought we were gonna be 20th. They were memeing us. They said you guys are finishing in the lower half. So those first two games we started against Wolves, very lucky to win that game, and then but we were exposed. And then the Spurs game, I feel like we did better in the first half. We had chances, but we didn't take them. And then second half game looked like Tottenham were way more fit than us. It looked like they were more proactive on the ball. And as soon as we concede goals, we were somebody's getting a call, bruh. Anyway, as soon as we conceded the first goal, we looked like we were out of ideas. We were shaken, and then we conceded the own goal, and then we lost the game, bro. We deservedly lost, and I am concerned, and I think we really like you said, the recruitment is not. It's not Ten Hag is not getting the players that he wants. He's just getting what we can afford, which is also problematic because now you've got a plan A, but you have to try and do something with a plan B team. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Rashford in the middle doesn't work. He's unhappy there. Ganacho is not ready for. He's not ready to start for Manchester United. He's still young. I think he needs a loan. And Anthony is very good, but he's a player that's frustrating me because he's not doing what he's not doing what he's supposed to do. But yeah, dude, my team I think will will come right, but it's gonna take some time, unfortunately. I wanted it to come together now. But we have to be patient as fans, bro. Like we're not on the pitch. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And yeah, dude, I just hope I can see better than what we've been doing. You
Just
feel me, Holmes?
yeah, just on that actually, because you're saying recruitment has been bad for you guys. I actually have some news for you guys. Actually, it turns out that there's a date for the takeover of Manchester United.
October.
Yes, mid-October.
Mm. But
So
Qatar.
yeah, Qatar. Qatar are the ones that look set
Money, money,
on
money, money.
um but on that, it's unfortunate because I feel like the timing of the takeover has been poor. I feel like if they had sorted this thing out much sooner, I feel like this window would have been a
Mm.
very crazy window. You wouldn't have bought Hoyland, you would have
You would
bought
have got
Kane.
Kane, bro.
You wouldn't have bought
Yeah.
Mount. You would have actually tried to go for De Jong. You know what I mean? I feel like because like look at Chelsea under new ownership, they literally spent 1 billion in 3 windows. So the sky was the limit with you guys. But I feel I feel the disappointment because of the lackluster in performances. If you want to go deep into tactics, to be honest, Tottenham weren't the best actually, but they exploited your frailties, which we should give credit for. We should give credit for taking advantage of that situation. I feel like you had a number of chances. Even Onana was creating chances for you guys, and the fact that you don't have someone clinical up front, I feel like Rashi is being played poorly up there, and Garnacho should be bedding slowly, not to be rushed. Like, I don't think alone would help him right now. I think he's close to benching. Like, he's a super sub, it's fine. But to send him on loan, I get his role, but like, he's not a starter. He's not a starter. If he doesn't improve, if his performances are poor, even coming off the bench, then consider alone. But I don't think he's that bad. Um, the striker situation for United is a desperate one because Hoyland is injured now. I don't know how long is he out for. Malcolm, do you know how long is he out for?
Mount
No, Hoyland.
is Ireland. Ireland is apparently it's close. He might be on the bench against Forest. Might be. But I doubt it. I don't think a boy is near ready. Even if his back is fine,
Mm,
he can't just go in there like injured and then it makes the problem worse. So I
mm,
for now I would keep him keep him away from starting. Like,
mm,
yeah, you can put him on the bench for numbers, but don't bring him on, bro, because I don't want our new signing because Mount is already out, bruh,
mm,
for for a while, and he just arrived.
yeah, yeah. I feel like no one
So
wants to risk
we'll
the
see.
players too soon because you have to like slowly let them in, I guess.
Integrate them into the team.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
integrate them. You have to allow them to adapt, and especially if they're injured, just slowly bring them back. Don't rush them. Don't ever rush players back. Um, what other results were playing as well, guys? And also before we kind of wrap it up, if there's something I want to discuss quickly, Brentford thrashed Fulham 3-0 in typical fashion. Uh,
Brentford cooked Fulham, bro.
yeah, they cooked them. Um, Brighton, I think we need to have a conversation about Brighton as well. They've been also one of the other teams that have won with six in terms of points. They absolutely thrashed Wolves. Um, Forest played Sheffield. That was actually the Friday game, and they beat them 2-1. But the game I actually want to get into, and I think Luton and Burnley has been postponed. But I think the game I want to get into is Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Now, Malcolm, what did you think of that performance from Liverpool? Up and he's gone. Daniel, hello.
Yes.
Um, what did you think of the Forest performance? Um, the
Yo,
the the performance from Liverpool. This is Bournemouth. Sorry, my bad.
I think it was a decent game. Some of these games I won't lie, like in terms of rival teams, I try shy away from watching. So it becomes a bit tricky when having to now give opinions based on other teams' performances. But yeah, I like to think that it was a pretty decent game. Maybe certain things that probably didn't work against Chelsea. I was starting to see that maybe those patterns and tactics are probably showing more so like a green light or some sort of positivity in terms of seeing how maybe Liverpool might go forward in terms of performance. So yeah, I didn't really catch much of that game, so my opinion on that is limited. As I did say that, hey,
Hmm.
sometimes we tend to forget that we love watching this game as supporters, and we need to leave the politics aside from not liking other opposition. But what did you think of the game?
Malcolm is coming in and out. I'm just gonna tell him to just come in and out again. Um, sorry. I was thinking. I was thinking that the performance was quite or decent, I guess. But in the Premier League, um, there's no easy game, and I feel like Bournemouth gave Liverpool a hard time. Um, I wouldn't say it was like an amazing performance from Liverpool, but it was a decent performance. We got to see the new DM, Endo. He wasn't too bad, I guess. But it looks like they're trying to make Alistair the DM. Can someone like make it make sense for me? Because I think he works in a two, not in a three. Like as the guy
Yeah, he
who's
can't do that job alone.
yeah. So the thing is, you're gonna put him as that quarterback role, I guess. Yeah, it's a quarterback role. The six that like a Jorginho, so to say, kind of role. I feel like you're not. I feel like Enzo's playing the offensive role and McAllister's playing the defensive role. It's weird. It's just the world has gone mad. Um, I feel like that's the role Enzo's supposed to be playing, not McAllister. McAllister McAllister was supposed to be that guy um who basically was um, supposed to be the most offensive player on their end. And seeing him so deep is a bit concerning because remember he got sent off for a silly tackle that I don't think was a red card personally. But because the stats are up, people say, "Oh, it's a red card." The guy was fine afterwards. He was just fine after that tackle. But just on the red card with McAllister, did you not notice, Daniel, that there was like a trend of red cards this weekend? You're on mute, bud.
Yeah, yes, most definitely. I did notice there's been a trend, but I guess these are the inconsistencies that come with VAR, and I think it might take a couple more years for the referees and obviously the staff behind the scenes to get to a point where this thing. They've also altered things in terms of the offside rule. Now it's like a full body thing as opposed to maybe a tiny bit of your arm or a particular body part that was offside, but the rest of the other body is not offside. And if you could look back with other matches in the previous seasons, We've seen how a lot of strikers have been unfortunate in terms of that offside rule. So I think also with regards to this rule in terms of dishing out red cards, where some tackles we can try justify ourselves and say that wasn't really that much of a dangerous tackle. But yeah, I think yeah, it's just gonna progress with time. Even this new rule that they brought in terms of players not being able to just low key be the referees themselves on the pitch, or at least try call for a foul, or whenever something wrong goes on the field. I'm not really liking that idea, but I'll grow accustomed to it. But
Mm.
it's mostly something I think that we could edit going forward, because I think that's parts of the game or part of the game that makes it interesting. Having players actually call certain things that they feel like might have been wrong. I'm not saying players now should
Yeah,
now.
passion takes over, bro.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah,
now when you're
Can't help.
silencing players, yeah. So
no,
I
like
think, yeah.
yeah. I no, I think the new rules by the referees I think is somewhat. I see what they're trying to do, but in terms of application and execution, it's awful. Again, I think in terms of now the fact that you can't you know double yellow is not looked at VAR. Normally, it's the rule. It's a yellow and it's a sending off. It's not like a straight red and you can overturn it. A double yellow, for example, is never checked by VAR, for example. And there was a lot of games that happened where you think, wait, he just got sent off for that. Like, come on, like I don't, I don't understand the inconsistency. Yes, you want the game to flow, but let it flow if you wanted to let it flow. If you can see that was in a malicious intent, then cover him. But I don't know, maybe there's I don't know, they're just the decision making. Like I know you guys lost against West Ham, but even they got a player sent off. And I saw and I was like, wait, why are you sending him off? The game is now at a point where it's flowing. Let it flow. Let the game flow. If you can see he's doing it persistent tackling, then yeah, take him out. But he wasn't persistently he just made a tackle just to stop to prevent the play. Okay, okay, to slow down the play. Like, okay, you got one more caution. But now if you mess up, you're getting sent off. You see, so I don't I don't understand some of the rules. I've seen good matches where referees have, dictated well, but this weekend was atrocious. This weekend was horrible. Some of the people who were supposed to get yellows didn't get yellows. Some of people who got
Bro,
sent off didn't get sent off.
apparently
So yeah. Sorry, Malcolm, you saying?
McAllister got his red card rescinded, bro.
Oh,
McAllister, they overturned his red card.
nice. At least there's justice
The
there.
the man is going to play against Newcastle this weekend. They said that was a unfair red. I think Tomiyasu's red card was unfair. Um, yeah, bro, but like Danko was saying, bro, like they're a bit too harsh with these rules, bro. And also this edit time thingy, it's reminding me of the World Cup. They're pushing it too far now. 7 minutes, 10 minutes.
God.
We're gonna get lots of injuries. there's a lot of there's a lot of things that's gonna happen, bro, in that time.
No,
That
it's funny,
edit
right?
time that they
So
putting, bro.
I'm just trying to understand something with the added time, right? So I think it was the Chelsea game. So yes, I understand there was like a red card
Yeah,
sending off, right? There was a penalty, right? But why are we having 9 minutes of extra time? Why are we having 9 minutes? if it's for the
They
water
want the
breaks
other team to come back, bruh.
in 9 minutes, yeah.
Nah, the water
You know,
breaks, they don't count it, bruh. They don't count
it,
the water breaks.
no, but like here's the thing about
They said,
the oh sorry, you're saying
yeah, they said water breaks are 90 seconds. Twice. First half and second half, depending on the heat and whatever. You understand? So they can't add that now because it's an intentional break. They minus actually that 90 seconds. That's what they said the rule is. They're gonna minus that water break, and every time there's a throw in, every time you celebrate a goal, um they just add 30 seconds. They used to add 30 seconds when you celebrate. Now they add a minute. So if you are trying to win a game 1-0, just don't celebrate. Rather just go put the ball
no,
back in the center circle after you scored, bruh. That's madness, bruh. So you putting on 2 3 minutes after, because some people, they celebrate long. Like if Anthony scores, you see he does the tiger thing, then he wants to dab, and then he wants to he's doing unnecessary things, that boy. So the now it's like it's taking the fun out of the game, and like players need to celebrate, bro. Especially the weak teams, they don't really get much goals, bro. So obviously they're gonna celebrate those goals. You
no,
see?
but like the thing is, I want to understand is it solely due to the fact that okay, there are delays in the game? Like when someone gets injured, that is a delay, right? That is a massive
Mm,
delay. But when now people are getting, when too many people are getting injured, are you going to start adding time because you can see the game is going a certain way? So if these guys are getting tired and injured in the process, wouldn't it be wise just to shorten the minutes so you can end the game quickly as possible to prevent further injuries or whatever? That's why I understood the when we had 1 minute, I was like, okay, people are getting hurt out here. Let's just call it a day. Um, but again, it just doesn't make sense to me. Do you have anything to say about it, Daniel, with the extra minutes?
man's is ice cold.
Ice cold. You're on mute,
Ice
bro.
cold Danko.
Yes, you were saying?
I was saying, do you have anything to say on the extra minutes? Because we literally saw a game where it went from 9, and then if you time waste, they had 2 more minutes. So it's not nine
Yeah,
minutes. It's
I think I caught my first glimpse of that idea during the Women's World Cup. Seeing the Banyana game against Italy, where the ref had put, I don't know how many minutes, but it ended up exceeding to like a good 12 minutes, and I was just left watching the game, standing there and talking to myself via the TV on some, yo ref, it's been 90 minutes. What is happening? So obviously, first game of the Premier League, I get news that this law has been passed. I'm not, it's a lot of change that's happening in the Prem that I'm not for. It feels like a lot of these things that they're putting in are taken away from what we really love about the game in terms of suspense. Now, if there's already like 10 minutes, maximum 12 minutes at a time in a game, and it's expected, there's not much thrill to it, you know? But when there's things like injuries that we have grown accustomed to, knowing that some of these players fake injuries, some of these players actually get genuine injuries, which add more to the time post the 90 minutes that's already been set for the game. It makes the game worth watching. There's more suspense. But now when we have certain things like that included that are not a part of the game, it's like, what are we saying? But I guess it's just
Yeah.
the Prem and the board and the powers that be who are experimenting and trying to see how they can improve the
Howard
game.
Webb, bruh. Howard
How it
Webb.
works.
It's his fault. Yes, Mr. Bald.
Yeah, I don't believe But at least it's not much of a joke like how when they proposed the idea of the Super League, and apparently the game was now going to be split into 4 quarters or something like that. And I was like, yo, this is not football.
In
That should
America,
stay.
doing their own
Yeah,
Champions League. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, that wasn't
All
gonna
of that
work,
should
bruh.
stay there. Yeah.
That
Yeah, so
wasn't gonna
that's
fly from the fans. They didn't want a Super League,
No, but like UEFA is becoming the Super League now.
yeah.
So
basically.
Hush.
They're just
Bit
doing
by
it
bit,
in a sly, not even a
history.
sly way, bruh.
it's not, they're not hiding it. Like, come on. Like they said, fifth is gonna be a Champions League place this season for next year, and I'm just like, since when? Since when is fifth a Champions League place?
They're
Like,
taking
it
the top
really is
four
like
away now.
crazy.
Imagine.
Yeah, doesn't make it
It's
worthwhile. Make it hurt as much, when teams don't qualify because now there's like extra spots. Just a bunch of challenges.
No, but like, I just to wrap the show up, guys. I just wanted to take a moment and think that so much is changing in a short space of time. Like, I didn't want to think that, okay, look, this is another weekend, something exciting for sure. This wasn't those weekends where you think, oh, goals and assists, some wins were hard fought. This was a weekend of controversy and some silly decisions that kind of shrouded over that. Like, you want to enjoy the Premier League because of the uniqueness of its competitiveness, but you can't really do that when all this is shrouded in controversy. But I'll be honest, man, I don't like these new rules, mate. I really don't like these new rules. Which my lighting is all over the place. Um, but yeah, man, I just want to see how it goes next week. I hope they can improve on last week because they're even gonna give managers and coaches yellow cards now and red cards now. So I'm just like, what? So no, they've been doing that, but like if he talks too much now, like they'll send him off. So I'm just like, how can you send someone off criticizing your decision? So anyway, I guess we'll just see what happens, man. But like, yeah, I think we'll do another show probably on Friday, just for the preview. And but thanks again, guys, for coming through for this review show. We'll probably do the show on Friday just to preview the games and just talk about football in general. Probably we'll see some interesting transfers. But before we go, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments if you like, and we will see you guys again soon. Okay, thanks Daniel for coming. For us, Malcolm, now B, thank you guys. Take care, and God bless y'all. See you soon.